We've got updated news and rumors around the Superman Legacy movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, and which movie needs to be more of a hit and which movie's going to end up being better. We're going to do that right now. Let's start off with both movies. Is it a given that both Disney and Marvel have to have a hit with the Deadpool and the Wolverine? Is it a must at this point, like for the future of X-Men and any Marvel characters, that they have a hit?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the case of Deadpool and Wolverine, it's that movie's trying to save a universe, right? And in the case of Superman, which they've changed the name, right? Now it's just Superman.
We're going to get into that in a second, but you were right. Sterling's giving stuff away
So-
before I'm ready to give the candy out.
So they
Yes, they are changing the name to Superman.
but that's relaunching a universe because their universe already failed. So
Yeah.
I'm more excited about Deadpool and Wolverine just because I love those characters more. Wolverine is my favorite superhero of all time, number one on the list. You know, Deadpool's probably like my fourth. So like I love both those
Deadpool's been
characters.
right behind Iron Man's been one of the best Marvel characters.
And so just because of those characters, and it's probably the last time you're going to see Hugh Jackman in the role,
Right.
Yeah, which is cool, and I'm excited to see the authentic looking costume. But for what it does for the universe, I'm more excited about Superman because it's launching an entire new universe, and I
Right.
don't think as good as Deadpool and Wolverine may be, I don't think it could save the MCU. I mean, they would really have to pull out all the stops and do some crazy stuff to get the MCU in a direction that I'd be interested in again. So yeah, to answer your question, I'm more excited about Deadpool and Wolverine as just an individual movie, but I'm more excited about Superman as far as what it's going to do for the entire DC franchise.
So, while we're talking about Deadpool and the Wolverine, we've got several sleuths that sort of caught it in the teaser that came out during the Super Bowl. A figure that was shaved head or bald headed from behind that did not look masculine, so they thought it was female. And so the speculation started there about who that could be, and now we have pretty much confirmation. The U.S. Copyright Office, several websites picked it up, that Emma Corrin, that played Princess Diana in The Crown. Did you watch The Crown?
Mm-hmm.
She was really good in it. Really, I think did a great job capturing Princess Diana. Emma Corrin is the U.S. Copyright Office has got Emma Corrin playing Cassandra Nova, who is the evil sister of
Professor X. Yeah.
So, I don't know that where we're going to see her play in, but the rumors are that she may be the villain of Deadpool and Wolverine. So that's news in the last few days, or it would have been rumored, but seems to be more confirmation that Emma Corrin is playing Cassandra Nova, and so that we will very well see that in Deadpool and the Wolverine. I think that it's critical for Disney to have a hit with Deadpool and the Wolverine because of the launching of the new X-Men, but I think Disney's going to do that anyway. I mean, look, the last 7 or 8 out of 9 movies they put out have flopped.
Yeah.
They've lost over $1 billion in the last year, and I mean, the Marvels did great, didn't it?
That's the biggest flop in their history, I believe.
Ant-Man and the Quantumania did great, didn't it? Then you have Madam Web. We had Madam Web, which was a Sony product.
Yeah, that's Sony. You can't blame them on that.
But so, people said superhero fatigue. People don't have superhero fatigue.
I don't think
they
they
have
do.
crappy movies fatigue is what they've got. Crappy directors, identity politics, pandering to an audience that makes up less than 1% of the viewers, and bad stories.
Yeah.
So I will say that no matter what happens with Deadpool and the Wolverine, and I do believe it's going to be a hit. I believe
think it
they're going to
will.
have a hit on their hands.
And I want it to be successful just because I love those characters.
I do too. And
I hope I watch it and I go, wow, they're finally fixing it. I hope.
But the more control Ryan Reynolds has been given in the past is not always a good thing. But we'll see how it pans out. I think it's going to be a hit. That's my prediction.
Why do you say that'd be a bad thing specifically? Like, what has he done that's
just gone too far with the
fourth wall stuff? Okay.
Yeah, the fourth wall. Yeah. So, but I think no matter what happens, they're moving forward. The Superman movie has to be a hit. Yeah. They're built, I mean,
well, from a financial standpoint, like Disney, as bad as their movies are doing, their theme parks make so much money
they
that
still have the parks.
They can subsidize all their movies and still be fine.
With cruise ships and
and Warner's on the verge of,
selling off properties.
Yeah, selling IPs. So I mean,
Superman has to be a hit, and they've got to get it right. Now the casting we've covered, they've gotten right, and we've got some news, some news and some speculation that I think we're going to try to debunk. But today on David Corenswet and then James Gunn, they put out the S, a photo of the S logo on Superman. The first thing that jumps out at me is not even the S. It's the snow. And so on his Instagram, James Gunn went back and forth with a few actors in the movie about David Corenswet rolling around in the snow in his trunks. So that leads us to believe that based on this image and then the comments on Instagram from James Gunn himself, that we're going to be seeing either a fight around the Fortress of Solitude or something near it. Now, they are filming in Norway right now. So we'll put up a shot that James Gunn put up on his Instagram of the scouting locations in Norway, which looks like the surrounding area of where the fortress will be. First of all, this looks a lot like the S looks similar, and we'll have it up on the screen, to the Kingdom Come of the comics, but the color schemes seem closer to what Henry Cavill wore. And the reason why I want to point that out is because we'll put an image up on the screen of a supposed leaked photo of David Corenswet in the Superman costume. And the first thing that jumps out is I don't think that's exactly how his hair is going to look. They've been very careful as to covering his face. We'll put up a shot of the cast with James Gunn that was taken recently, and you'll see Nicholas Hoult in the back of the photo with his bald head, a.k.a. Lex Luthor. And then beside him is David Corenswet, Superman himself, but he's wearing a hat. And then we have another video that came out of Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnahan playing Lois Lane, and the Superman theme music starts. And as the Superman theme music starts, you see Nicholas Hoult, a.k.a. Lex Luthor, with the Creature Commandos T-shirt going into frame on one side of Rachel Brosnahan, and you see David Corenswet on the other, but he's, again, wearing something covering his hair. So I think that's purposeful, that they don't want you to really see what his hair looks like. But, give me your thoughts on, first of all, what I said about they have to have a hit. And then second, what do you think about the logo and probably the debunked rumor of the real colorful suit that's been out there with the cape looking a little short? Several things jump out that it's fake. But
I thought it was confirmed to be fake, wasn't it? I thought
he made some comments, but not official confirmation. It's been floating out there for about a day.
I hope they go for a lighter take on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like the lighter blue, and then what was the Superman of All Seasons? I think is what we were thinking.
A Man for All Seasons.
Yeah,
Superman for All Seasons.
Well, we thought maybe it was going to be inspired. That look right there, and I'd be okay if they did that.
And I think so. And I think the fact that you've got the Authority and the Engineer, in there. I think you're going to see some sort of.
That's my only concern, though, is they don't have. There's no major villain that we haven't seen before that, I'd like to see Brainiac or something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe you couldn't start off with Darkseid, but because that's something you want to do later. So I think you're going to
see a world where these characters have inhabited for a while. We're not going into an origin story of Superman in this one, where they've been there for a while, and it's kind of like The Boys, where you have some characters that are unmanaged, kind of like Civil War with Iron Man and Captain America. And they fell on different sides of the aisle in terms of, like, should we be regulated by governments and law? Should we not? And who does that? Who's responsible for that? And I think you're going to see a little bit of that with all these characters. Some, overextending their reach a little bit. And where does Superman fall in line? And where does the Engineer fall in line?
Right.
But we don't truly know the villain yet. We know Nicholas Hoult is Lex in the movie, but LexCorp could be easing their way into him being the villain.
All right.
We truly don't know yet. One thing we do know is that John Murphy is going to be the composer for the music for the movie. And so, that kind of makes sense because he's worked with James Gunn quite a bit. He actually came in on the Suicide Squad. He replaced the original composer, and then he did Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and now he's doing Superman. I remember the movie Sunshine. That kind of stood out to me a little bit. But it's an interesting choice because there's not very many movies that John Murphy has done where you would say, man, that's someone to be perfect for Superman.
Right.
What I think they're going to do is they're probably going to use the John Williams theme and then just make variations of it. Don't you think that's what they're going to do?
Yeah,
They got to stick with it.
I think they own the rights to it, so they can do.
Yeah, they're not going to change that up too much. I mean, that's gold. So, I think you stick with that. But, at the end of the day, I think that they've got a good cast on their hands. He knows they've got to deliver. I think he's going for a lighter tone of Superman, which is what people have wanted to see.
Yeah.
Any thoughts around the composer being John Murphy, who did actually a few of the Guy Ritchie movies that we talked about recently, and some of the Henry Cavill news that we did.
I think I'm more excited about the potential for what it brings to the new universe than I am about the actual movie itself, though.
Yeah,
and that might be a problem. You know what I mean? As far as an individual movie goes, I mean, I'm excited about it, but I'm more curious about how it sets everything else up.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
while with Deadpool and Wolverine, it's the opposite. Because I don't have any confidence that
Deadpool and Wolverine could signal an ending and a beginning.
Right.
But
even if they get it right, there's so many other opportunities to screw it up on other movies, right?
Yeah.
There's so much other stuff going on that I don't care about, that I don't. Plus the MCU is so disjointed now. That would only tie into certain things,
right?
So
they also recently cast Wendell Pierce as who was in the series with Jack Ryan series that was on Amazon. Is going to be playing Perry White in the new movie. So taking over for Lawrence Fishburne is Perry White. Kind of makes sense. But, as we kind of wrap up, some final thoughts. One, I think that the leaked photo of him in the Superman costume is fake. I don't think it's real. I do think the S is going to represent kind of that Kingdom Come S that you see in some of the comics. But I think that the cape's going to be longer. I think they're purposefully hiding his hair. It's going to be a few changes there. And so I don't think that's a real photo. Obviously, we're going to see the Fortress of Solitude and the Engineer, some sort of face-off around the fortress in snow.
You should go for that look right there.
Absolutely. It's Superman, a man for all seasons.
Yeah.
But actually, we can change this one up. But, look, I think they both have to be hits. But as we wrap up, Superman from Warner Brothers and the DCU, they have to have a hit, or else none of it works.
Oh.
None of it works moving forward. And so that's where I stand on it. Where do you stand? Are you going to see both movies in the theater? Are you more interested in one over the other? What do you think about some of the new images that have come out?
Or maybe you're done with both. Maybe you've given up.
Maybe you're not going to the theater for either one, which is possible with the way some of these franchises have handled the IPs lately. But, let us know your thoughts around some of the new images that have come out. Emma Corrin in Deadpool playing the evil sister of Professor X, Cassandra Nova, of the new logo that James Gunn released of the Superman S on the chest, and some of the other items around both movies. While you're doing that, smash that like button, leave us a comment, hit the notifications bell for future content, and most importantly, hit subscribe so we can continue to grow our channel and TCB.